We do know the labour market's held up. It's been a tough time, obviously. A lot of people really feeling it. There's no doubt about that. Australia isn't isolated in that respect, though, and I think voters would be well aware of the international component to all of this, wouldn't they?
Well, Kieran, you raise the international components. The fact is that inflation has been higher for longer than it needs to be against all comparable nations around the globe. That is the reality. Australians have been doing it tougher for longer because Labor has spent and spent and spent. It's not just federal Labor, it's been state Labor governments as well that have added to the problem. It's not Bridget McKenzie saying it, it's not the coalition saying it, it's serious economists here domestically, and indeed the Reserve Bank has made clear why they have been slow to bring down interest rates and inflation because of the inflation data, because of government spending. I think it's in excess of $345 billion of additional spend since coming to power. So all of these micro decisions that the Labor Party's made over its short time in government have meant it is tougher for small businesses, like I'll be visiting today in the Seat of Line, but right across the country, and indeed households who are now struggling with their Christmas card credit bill, and how are we going to get the kids back to school, and even school fees are going through the roof. So every single target measure, you look across the economy, and you talk about the unemployment data. The fact is 1 million Australians have had to take on second jobs so they can pay the bills. That's not a good story, Kieran. That's actually emblematic of what's wrong across the economy under the Labor Party.
Victoria has been a Labor state in recent years. Traditionally was a blue ribbon Liberal state for so long for the coalition. It was such a stronghold. Now, in recent times, it hasn't been. What's your read on Victoria now, given the difficulties posed by the cost of living pressures and the longevity of the state government?
Yeah, absolutely, Kieran. I think what you're seeing is that as Victorians are dealing with the reality of having a state Labor government in power for a decade. We are paying $28 million a day in interest payments every single day to pay for Labor's state debt. They've got failed projects. The CFMEU is embedded in their big build right across the suite of initiatives from first Daniel Andrews and now Jacinta Allen sees Victoria at the end of the queue when it comes to economic growth and development. And Victorians are suffering, whether it is housing crisis, whether it is crumbling roads. You don't have to go outside of Melbourne to find a pothole. They're in our suburban streets. And I think Victorians are rightly saying enough is enough. The rest of Australia needs to look at Victoria as the test case of giving a left-wing Labor government the Treasury benches. This is where you end up. And I hope that the rest of Australia will learn from our experience in Victoria and at the next federal election, make sure they make the right choice to get Australia back on track and elect Peter Dutton and David Littleproud and a strong coalition team to get our country back on track.
National Senate Leader Bridget McKenzie, we'll talk to you soon.